All right, one more. We're going to put in these pads and the columns and this center line. This is actually, the center line represents a beam that's setting on top of these. If you look at the sectional view, it's 3 2x10s that are glued and nailed together, and on top of them sets a 2x6 beam plate. So we're going to put in this 30 by 30 by 8 inch thick pad, and it needs to go down below the footings, so we'll have to adjust that a little bit. And then we'll put in this post, and we'll have to adjust the height of that. The height of that post is actually going to be the length of it. I figured that out here, around 6 foot 10 3/4 inches, I believe. We'll check that. And they are spaced. If you look at the drawing, here's 4 feet 4 inches to the center of the post, then it's 8 feet on center. It's 14 feet 3.5 inches from the inside edge of the wall to the beam, 14 feet 4.5 inches from the inside of the wall to the beam. So we'll be looking at putting those in, I guess. I'm going to go up here to structure. The structure, and then use this slab, structural slab. It comes up with a foundation slab that's 6 inches thick. So I'm going to edit that with the edit button. And this time I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to change the 6 to 8. I'm going to take this 2 off of the end. Say okay, nothing magic about that. I just changed the name, copied it and changed the name. When I go to edit, I want to make this 8 inches thick. So I now have a slab that's 8 inches thick. I'm going to sketch it in up here. I can use this rectangle tool. Just draw a little rectangle. Then I'm going to start touching the lines and figuring out how far away they need to be. Now, if you look back at this, it says it's 14 3.5 to the center. Well, I'm going to the edge, so I have to take 15 inches off of that since it's a 30-inch slab. So I have to do a little bit of math. And somewhere here I already did the math. On this one here. This is going to be 13 feet 1/2 inch, I believe it has to be. 13 feet 0.5 inches. I'm going to touch this bottom line and make sure I'm going to put 30, make sure you put inches. If I touch the side line, this is supposed to be, it's 4 foot 4 inches to the center, but from edge to edge, the edge of the wall to the edge of this would be 37 inches if you did the math. And then if I touch this far line over here, that should be 30 inches, 8 inches. If you want to double check that, you can throw some dimensions on it. I'm going to go from the corner to here to here. So 3 foot 1, 2 foot 6. And again, I'll go from the corner to here to here. 13 feet and a half, 2 foot 6. When I hit the check mark, I've got the slab here. Now I always kind of like to check and see where that guy's at vertically to make sure it's in the right spot. I can go to a 3D view and kind of see that it's setting down there. If I flip this around, see I'm using my little 3D, going to the left side, I can touch, oh there it is, see I'm going up there and highlighting the footing, and that's actually right where it should be, because there's going to be, that's going to line up with the basement footing, And there's going to be 4 inches of cement on top of it. I was going to hide this. I could have selected this, right click, and hide in view that element, and I would see it setting there. Actually, I might leave it. I'll bring it back here. And if you go to the little light bulb down here, it says Revit Reveal Hidden Elements. I can go and touch that, right click, and unhide the elements. So I can hide and unhide elements in the category. Turn the little hide element button off. Let's go back to the 3D view. So it's sitting there. I want to put a column on top of this. It's going to be a 3-inch pipe, and I'm going to have to load that because it's not going to be, when I go over here to structure and I pick a column, I'm not going to have anything but these wide flange columns. So we have to go up to Insert, Load Family, and it will go out to the directory and find our family. And way down here at the bottom we have structural columns. Here's some steel. Here's a pipe column. And so I believe this is the one I can find. Nope, I'm going to use the structural columns, steel, HSS hollow structural sectional columns, round, the HSS round hollow structural columns. If I slide this one down, I will find, I believe, toward the very bottom, some pipes that are right here. The outside diameter is 3 inches. I usually just use this very bottom one. HSS 3x 0.125. 0.125 is the wall thickness. If we wanted a thicker one, we could go with it. This will work for what we're doing. So now when I go up here to structure and column, that round column is here, and I can place it when I go and select it now. I should get measurements on it. So it says it's 4'8" to the center of the wall. If I touch this, there's 4'4". That's where it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be, depending upon it's measuring from the edge, it's supposed to be, look at the measurements, 14 feet 3.5 inches, 3.5. It's in the right spot. Now it doesn't show up very well. There's a little problem with it, and we'll see what that is in a minute. I'm going to go back to that 3D view. We'll go around and look at the side, and look, it's way below the ground. It goes in from your constraint down, and so we need the basement. And I'm going to take and do a little hiding here. I'm going to use the control key and grab the wall and the footing and go up to hide in view and hide those elements so we can see what's happening to this guy. So here's the base offset. It has to have a base offset of 4 inches. That means from the basement, there it is. It starts right here at 4 inches and it's going down. We want it to go up. Its top offset is going to be, I did the math on that earlier, it was 6 feet 10 1/4, I believe. Now I'm going to have to go look at my drawing here. 10 3/4. We'll see 6 foot 10.75. So the column goes in up here, and if I check this, I think I can with no, I can't dimension here. Let me see if I can find a distance tool. That won't let me do a distance on here either. We'll have to do it in the sectional view when the sectional views come up. But I have this footing. There will be a concrete slab here. We could draw the slab in. I don't like to do that because it covers up a lot of the stuff that I want to have show up. The slab just confuses stuff, so I usually leave that out. So I've got the footing in the right spot, this guy in the right spot. I'm going to hit the light bulb, and it shows that these guys are hidden, so I'm going to use the control key to select them. Right click, unhide and view those elements. Then turn the light bulb off. You can go back to the basement. Everything is showing up. So what we're going to do now is make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. I put a window around this. And use the control key, make sure I get both of them. I have the slab and the circle. Here's copy. And I'm going to turn multiple on. And I'm going to copy from, I should be able to go from the midpoint. And there's 8 feet. I could have constrained that. There's 8 feet. Make sure it's a straight line, 8 feet. And I could just copy them and go in and dimension them. There's 8 feet. I'll do one more thing. I'm going to put a line up here. I'm going to annotate detail line. And what I'm going to do is set right over the top of this circle and pull the line right down to here. And since this is set to center line, yours may not be. It came up as a center line. You can change that. And I'm going to grab the end of the line and pull it over here. So if it doesn't come up as a center line, you just select it, go up here, hit the drop down list, and you can change it the type of line you want. So it should be a center line. So I've got my footings in there. I need 4 sections on here. So I'm going to go to View, Section. I'm going to come right over here by the garage, and I'm going to pick a point here. Here now, when I pick top to bottom, the arrows point to the right. That's okay. I can have them point that way to start with, but to finish with, no. They have to go this way. And this little box has to come over. I want to grab this side of the cutout and that side of the cutout. This recycling type sign here lets me put a symbol on both sides. Sectional lines have to point either to the left or up. That's what the sectioning gods have told me. I'm going to put a sectional line in here. So I'm going to pick on the left side, then the right side, and it will automatically point up. I'm going to pull this down because I just want a narrow section. And I can pull this over a little bit, and if I have room, I'll put those marks on here. I could run this section here also. So it could either place would be correct. I'm going to do a sectional line across here. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Heaven forbid. Flip it around. Watch this box. Make sure we pull it back so it's a narrow section. I don't want this wall included. I just want this wall. I can turn that on and I'm pull it in a little bit closer. That's 3 sectional views, and it actually created them over here in sections, section 1, 2, 3. and I'm going to create one more. So I'm going to go in here and do a view section. It's not really locking onto that, but what I'll do is pull it down like this. Again, flip it over. What I want to do is I'm going to use the arrow key and I'm just going to slide it over. I want it to be right in the middle of that pipe. So I just used my left arrow key to move it around a little bit. And I'll turn this. And we'll adjust these a little bit later on to make sure when we dimension we get these out of the way of the dimensions. There's no information in here, but when we drop these onto a sheet set, then we'll get page numbers and section numbers on them. We will also change the names of these. So our sections have been created. Look over here. There's my garage cutout. Here's my front stoop. This is my basement wall, which is going to end up being a full wall section. And here's kind of ugly looking post. More stuff will show up, but here's the key on this one. Right here next to 1/4 of an inch equals a foot is something called detail level. This needs to be set at least to medium. Oh, now we have a post. So I'm going to save this. We have basement pretty well laid out. We need to put stairs in here and some annotation and some plumbing, and it'll be ready to go pretty much. See you in a while.